Do them backup right away or transfer?
I'd like to call to order the town council meeting for November 22, 2022. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mike Aurelio.
Here.
Brian Blazak.
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Here.
Michael Schilling.
Here.
Gerald Swetz.
Present.
Joe Wizawati.
Present.
David Westland.
Present.
Beth Hernandez, present.
Okay, we have a quorum. Item number 3 is public comment. Mr. Kevin Cole. If you would state your name and address for the step up to the microphone. And
My name is Kevin and Karen Cole. We're at 10652 Manor Drive in St. John, Indiana. 42 years of my married life was lost in a fire a few weeks ago. I lost my house, my security, my insanity, my heart, my health, and almost my wife. Life almost was lost in that fire. I believe my home could have been saved if there was a firehouse on the south side of town. I have been a resident of St. John for over 25 years and born in Indiana. Maybe that's why I came back to Indiana to retire, and that's what I did. I'm looking forward to retiring in this great town of St. John. And I love the town. And however, now I can't retire until we rebuild. If someone asks me if there is anything they can do to help my family, I would say right now, help me build and help on to reduce the permit fees to rebuild on this existing structure. All I want to do is remove the defective heart and transplant a new one in its place. The same as replacing the existing structure. And I hope you guys all have a nice Thanksgiving, but my Thanksgiving has been ruined. Thank you.
thank you for your comments, Mr. Cole. We are sorry and sympathize with your loss.
He reached out to me, and I have talked to Joe on that. I think there was something, I'll have to look at the legalities of it, but he is an existing home. He's coming back to get it rebuilt. I know you can't just wipe away a building permit fee, but I would look, see if we could look into like some of the impact fees that he has already paid when he originally built his house back 30 years ago. When did you build it? 96? 97? So, they paid the park impact fee, they paid the sewer hookup fee, they paid the water, so if there's something that we could look into.
I would like the same. If you have a terrible tragedy, is there something that we could do to help that, that makes sense and is legal for us to do? I would like to do that.
Right. And after I spoke to Councilman Schilling, we did have a meeting with Building and Planning and discussed, the differences between what is a rebuild and what is a new build. So we did discuss those a little bit at length. That is a question that the attorney is going to have to answer with respect to how that's treated. But if it's something, and to Councilman Schilling's point, if it's something that we need to bring back to the council to request a waiver of those fees, that may be something. This is something that is, it's a tragic event. If this happened to any resident, I hope that, the council would treat, each of these, cases as the same.
Agreed.
Okay,
Agreed.
Want me to say anything or not?
you may, if you have comments to make.
Well, I would just say, from a legal standpoint, those fees were imposed by ordinance, and it's a policy decision to impose those fees. So, I clearly don't want to be held to it because I want to look at it closer, but my initial reaction would be that the body that approved those fees to begin with, which was the council by ordinance, could then make exception or waiver of a portion And there may be a fee that, to Mikey's point, that may not be able to be waived, but I think we can do something with a lot of those fees.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is all I have in there. We'll go to item number 4, approval of the minutes. You should have the October 26th, 2022 minutes in front of you. We have a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Questions or comments, corrections? Not. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Those are approved. 5-0. Item number 5, Joe.
You have the bids, right?
So, yeah, I put them down here by Mr. Dalton because there's
Okay.
a couple that I kind of wanted some space. And he said he didn't
So
mind.
then should I start with you, Mr. Westland?
Sure.
Sure everything is in order?
I think you have 3 responses to both number 5 and number 6. So with that, I'll go ahead and open those up. The facilities needs assessment, which is number 5. The first one's from American Structure Point. It was submitted by Mr. Hoopengardner and Mr. McCloskey. I know that there's a All right. Second one is from the Arsh Group. Structure Points, I know, is located in Highland and throughout Indiana. Arsh Group is located in Maryville, and it was submitted, I'm sure, by Tagi Arshami. And then the last one is Veritas. Located in Indianapolis. So those are the 3 on the facilities needs assessment. On number 6, the recreational impact fee study, Baker Tilly. Located in Indianapolis. The Arsh Group. And American Structure Point. So those are the 3 on the impact fee.
So these will be reviewed by staff, and then we'll be reviewing these with the Parks and Recs Committee with a recommendation to the council.
We need a motion to that effect?
I don't know how historically you guys have done it here. Typically, what I've seen is a motion to refer
Right,
all of the responses to staff and then to
That's
take
what-
action at a further meeting.
that's what we've typically done. So I will entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to refer these bids for discussion with the appropriate committees,
Staff,
staff committees.
okay. Is there support for that?
Second.
Mike, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Well, let's do that again for number 6. I'm sorry, that was for number 5. We should do number 6 as well.
Jerry, I'm gonna, there's several copies, so I will keep one, give one to Dave, and the rest to Joe.
Okay,
Is that okay?
yeah, as long as there's enough to go around, yes. So that was for number 5. Can I have a motion for the same motion for number 6?
I'll make a motion to refer these to committee for discussion and recommendation to the town council.
Okay, is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That is passed 5-0. Okay, item number 7, old business. 7-1 is ordinance 1783. Joe?
So this ordinance is back before the council tonight for second reading and adoption. This is, has been out for public review for some time. The recommendation is for the council to adopt ordinance 1783.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 1783 on second reading.
Thank you, Mike. Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. Questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. This is approved 5-0. Item 8, financial matters, RTPs. Beth?
Yes, you actually received 19, not 18 RTPs. However, the total remains the same at 440,256.56. You received 2 from Dell, 1 from Thomas Dodge, 1 from D. Young Interiors, 1 from Boonder Electric, 1 from Clark Concrete, 4 from Peerless Midwest, 2 from Co-Alliance, 1 from Lithograph, 1 from ATN Technology, 1 from ESRI, 1 from Schilling Construction, 1 from Bartontronics, and 1 from Phil & Sons, and 1 from Leo's.
Okay. So, were we distributed 18, or were we distributed 19, it was just a miscount?
You were distributed 19, the
So-
total remains the same. I think it was just a misprint.
So there's nothing new here?
No.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments on the RTPs?
I got a couple questions on the one for the furniture for the office. Would there have to be a conflicting interest statement with that? Since that gentleman's on the RDC? Or ED, I'm sorry, after I said it, I caught myself. Thank you, Mike.
That's a good question. We're gonna ask Mr. Young to do a,
He does he get, the EDC is a committee.
right, he's not paid, he's not employed.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt to have it and just to have it of record. I don't know that it's entirely necessary, but I don't think it's a bad idea either. So I would recommend.
I think they did that with Jerry with a copy machine or a TV or something.
We've done it. We've
Yeah, but
done it.
Done it
I-
before.
But I was on the council at the time,
Right,
so.
yeah, there is a difference.
I believe we did it with the 2 committees, the MS4, Stormwater Board, that's got
Right.
conflict of interest.
Right.
And Planning Commission, I believe that may have it too, so.
So. I
Yeah,
would-
we just did it for
All right. So I would
caution.
direct Joe to ask Mr. DeYoung to fill out a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem.
No.
though.
Sure.
John will
Thank
cooperate.
you, Wayne. You had another one?
And then on the Schilling one, we're going to spend $103,000 to remodel this place. I don't know if it's this room here or just on the other side. I didn't learn about it, and somebody told me on the street. And I think that we should put that off, defer it until maybe the middle of next year, maybe March, and see what's gonna happen if the economy may take a plunge. But we should have a drawing of what's going on, Joe. I think I talked to you earlier today, and
Yeah, in
And-
fact, there is a drawing if you want to come and see it. We are making modifications to this so that we have a
Right.
proper conference room.
but I know maybe that could wait, but we're, with the MS4 program, we're trying to hire somebody, or we should hire somebody, and there's no money in the budget, but we're gonna spend $103,000 on remodeling, and that could probably wait, 6 months, the middle of next year, and then maybe proceed. But I'd like to see the plans on it, and I'd like to defer that one, till maybe the next meeting. I'd like to see the plans.
Okay.
I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything to defer it, is it?
Well, the costs are likely to go up. They already went up since we started the
Well,
process.
costs are going up for everything.
Yeah. So I don't think the costs are gonna go down if we wait. And in fact, getting the project done and completed before spring is probably, in a better situation instead of doing it during the summer months.
Yeah, I can only speak for myself. I know this was part of the budget process for the last 3 or 4 months. We've talked about this in, I believe, 2 other meetings, specifically. Just speaking for myself, I've worked in the conference room. I see the problems within there, and every now and then you do need to remodel. I'm okay with this.
So is it in the budget, Joe?
It is.
Okay. All right, any other comments? Then I will entertain a motion to approve the request to purchase in the amount of $440,256.56.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
Opposed, say nay. I'm sorry.
I abstain.
Abstain. I didn't hear Wayne. Did you approve this?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 to 0 to 1 abstain. Thank you. Item number 2, under financial matters, is your accounts payable voucher you have in front of you. Questions or comments on the vouchers? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable vouchers in the amount of $4,952,845.49.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved, 5 to 0. Item number 3, a motion to approve change order number 1. Joe?
This is the change order from the CCMG project. We're getting all this finalized. The good news is that this project cost $245,838.47 less than the original contract price. So that's a net savings to the town.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve change order 1 so we can get some of this money back? We'll pay a little bit less, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mike.
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved, 5 to 0. Item number 4, final payment request number 3.
Yeah, so this is for the CCMG project. This is the final payout and release of retainage in the amount of $203,472.39 to Milestone.
Okay. Any questions or comments on that? And I will entertain a motion to approve the final payment in the amount of $66,329.45.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. Item number 5, change order 1 for 85th Avenue. Joe?
So this is the change order for the West 85th Avenue Reclamation Project. The total decrease of $287,600.57. Recommending that we approve this. This is the shared project cost with Lake County and the town of Schererville. We will be billing these two entities here soon for their portions of the reimbursement.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a question. That, it's a savings of 287, and we're going to pay the whole amount? Can we do that with federal money? We're paying for another municipality, or 2 municipalities. Can we do that?
They're chipping in.
Yeah, but we're paying that for them. We should pay our portion, and they should pay their portion.
It's just easier if we all pay and
Yeah,
they've already approved it by their councils, so the money is there already.
I don't know, Mr. Westland, what do you think? Is that,
Well,
and I don't want to put you on the spot, but.
well, yeah. But spotlight it is. So I'm not familiar.
So understand, this, Mr. Decker is the one who handled this, so.
Right.
If you
And
want-
Okay.
If you want to punt this, I'm fine with that.
No, and that's what I was going to say is I'm not familiar with the specifics of the agreement between us and the counties, and I think that's going to control, right? So if there was an
Okay.
agreement that we would front the money and then get it back from them, from the county and the two other participating municipalities,
Right.
then no is the answer to your question. And I don't know that.
Yeah, because you weren't part of it,
So
but I don't know, maybe
So-
we can't postpone this till,
Well, I think that, is it possible, is it possible that if we don't pay this, they already have their portion approved to pay us back, that actually waiting till next month just delays us getting our money just longer? We still have the same process. You'll still have the same problem.
I would like to approve this, but I'd like, Joe, if you could check with Adam, Mr. Decker, to make sure that he's reviewed that, and before we actually pay this bill, that everything is in line.
I mean,
Jerry, my question would be this. So if you guys, I would obviously suggest you accept your change order because it's a reduction in price.
Right.
And of course, we want to get this paid. But if you, and I don't have the JICA, so I can't look at it, but if you listed amounts per the $845,000 roughly cost, wouldn't the other towns' amounts then decrease with the decrease?
They'll get refunds. That's what we
well,
made.
it's not a refund. They will be paying less.
So then you
Less,
probably need a revised JICA, correct?
I don't know why you'd need a revised one if it's a cost savings.
It
Because the-
depends on how it
Greater
was laid
than.
out. If it was laid out so that everybody pays the percentage of,
I
as
wish it was
opposed to dollars and
percentage,
cents.
but it was dollars and cents. So that's something I would look at too. And I'm with you. I would like to 100% agree with you. I feel like we need all those ducks in a row before a payment goes out.
Right. So I'd like to approve it, but I'd like to hold payment until we know exactly how we're supposed to handle it legally.
and could we just pay our payment and then hold back? I mean,
I don't know. We have to talk to
okay,
Mr. Decker.
all right.
According to the
Depends
way
what
that the
that
agreement was, the
Right.
town was taking the lead on the project and was supposed to be making payment and get reimbursed on the back end.
Yeah, if you could just double check
Yeah.
that and make sure. Okay.
And so with
Alright.
Wayne's ARPA thing, question, I think he makes a valid point. So if you're gonna receipt in the money from the joint agencies, and you're gonna, it may be cleanest, and this is just, I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, but to pay our portion out of ARPA, but then pay the portion we're gonna receive back from the other communities out of the general fund, so then you can receipt their portions back into the general fund, and you're not mixing anything with federal
Right.
Yeah,
funding.
that
I'm,
makes,
I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
It'll
Yes.
keep the grant reporting a lot
Yes.
cleaner.
It's less messy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about I make a motion to defer till next
Nope, nope,
month?
nope, nope. We don't want to defer.
No?
We want to approve it, but we're just going to make sure before we actually make the payment that we have everything in order as far as the agreement goes. If we need to sign a new joint local agreement, then we'll
Hope
do
not.
that, but
Well, first I'll make the motion to approve change order number 1 for the West 85th Avenue reclamation project.
thank you, Mike. Is there support for that?
I'll support it.
Thank you, Wayne. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. Item number 6, motion to pay request number 1.
And this is the payment for same.
This is the one that we'll have to check with.
Okay,
So-
so we accepted the change order. This is the one for the actual payment.
Correct.
Okay.
So you could do a motion to approve the payment conditioned upon legal review.
Okay.
And I think that gets Joe
Second.
what he needs.
Wonderful motion.
All right. Is there support for that?
Second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. It is approved 5-0. Thank you, sir. And we're up to B, ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance 1784. Joe?
So this is an ordinance that will amend the ordinance 1749, which is the longevity pay. This will allow the pay to be paid out of the regular payroll process that we have currently. This should simplify the process in terms of paying the employees out as their way that they're apportioned out of the current funds.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Jerry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I would just ask for consideration in the ordinance. I'm in agreement with everything you're doing in there, but I would ask for consideration that it's the preference of employees to receive longevity on a separate paycheck. So I would ask for consideration that our office can pay this out in the month of December rather than combined with a payroll. It's written right now that we would essentially be running 2 separate payrolls
Okay.
in the first pay of December, which is a lot of work and it's cumbersome for our department. So if possible,
Okay.
if it's on an off payroll week,
All right, so let's do this. Let's approve this on first reading only, and we'll look at it and follow up at the next meeting, maybe make, if there's some,
Well, it needs to be done this meeting because
it does.
we won't have a meeting before the end of the.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily think anyone would object to receiving a separate check on it either.
it's right.
Yeah.
So is there a change that needs to be made in the ordinance?
I think it's a procedural thing. I mean, if you want to add that as an amendment to the motion, maybe.
Do you have the ordinance?
Where
Yeah, here.
is,
Instead of listing it as, in section, hold on. Okay. Okay, in section 1, where it says full-time employees shall be paid longevity compensation in the first pay period of the month. Just full-time employees shall be paid longevity compensation
In the month of December?
in the month
During the
of
month of
December
December?
every
Yeah.
year.
Sounds sensible.
So it would be a
okay, so we're gonna scratch out 4 words. First pay, period.
Council, would that have to be done as a amendment to the ordinance?
Yes. I
And
wanna
then
make sure we
a
got it
motion
right
to
before
adopt,
we,
or you want to do it as separate, or?
before I entertain a motion, I wanna make sure we got it right first, so we wanna cross out 4 words, first pay period 4, correct?
appreciated. Thank you.
Well, now you got 2 thus.
You
So-
gotta get rid of the "the" as well.
All right,
So you need 1 the gone.
Right.
in the, okay,
So section 1 would read, full-time employees shall be paid longevity compensation in the month of December of every year.
okay. So we've got the, first pay, period, and 4. Those are gonna be crossed out. And we'll leave the in front of the month, okay. Do I have a motion to make those modifications?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that.
Now,
I'll second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That is approved, so now we will entertain the motion for the ordinance. So first thing we're going to do is consider this on first reading. Is there a motion for that? So we just approved the edit,
That's correct.
the amendment.
As amended.
So now we are doing the actual ordinance itself, first reading. So is there a motion to approve ordinance 1784 on first reading?
As amended, so moved.
Thank you, Mike.
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That approved 5-0. And so, because that's unanimous, do we want to adopt this on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is adopted 5-0. Ordinance 1785. Joe.
So this reestablishes a fund that was abolished in 2019 for a sewer installation reimbursement agreement between the town and Mill Creek Development LLC. This agreement is still in effect. The new fund number would be, I believe it's 8851
It says 8855.
or 8855. My bad. Thank you. On the agenda, it was worded with the old language. Or no, that's the old fund number. I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Questions or comments on ordinance 1785? And I will consider a motion to consider ordinance 1785 on first reading.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that.
Second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That approved 5-0. Is there a reason why we should approve this and adopt it tonight?
No.
Okay.
We can wait on that.
I know, but I always like leaving them so people have a chance to see them before we adopt them if possible. So we'll leave that one for the next meeting, for second reading. Ordinance 1786. Joe.
This is for the Streamside subdivision, which is a 54-unit, 39-acre subdivision, approving a zoning change from an R1 to residential conservation, R2. This comes to you tonight with a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission.
I would just point out as a zoning ordinance, it only needs one reading. So it would be a up or down vote.
Okay. And as I reviewed this, so we've got 54 maximum units, lots 90 feet to 100 feet wide, on 36.96 acres. Okay. Those were my concerns. Okay. So do we have a motion to adopt ordinance 1786? Thank you, Mike. Is there support for
Second.
that? Thank you, Brian. Questions or comments? And all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is adopted 5-0. Ordinance 1787. Joe.
So this is the salary ordinance for this year. The biggest change that you noticed, that there's authorized full-time, part-time staff members stated in the budget. There's no vacant positions included in the budget. This will allow town council greater financial control over changes in the midst of the fiscal year.
So is this different than what I reviewed earlier yesterday?
There was the one that was in your packet.
Is different.
There were edits on that one.
And that came out when?
4 o'clock.
I just have one issue with the Public Works Maintenance Specialist. You know, it's a 5% raise that we're giving everybody. I don't know why we changed the job description. That's the only thing I have there, or the job title.
It should read Public Works Class 1.
All right. So I am not comfortable adopting this tonight. I have not had a chance to review the changes. I'm okay with approving this on first reading, which means we're going to have another meeting in 2 weeks to go to reading number 2, as far as I'm concerned. If you guys want to approve it and vote on it, you may. But I'm going to speak against it to do the adoption tonight.
Well, I think that makes sense, right? We're going to do the first reading allows us to digest this and make changes before final adoption. I think that's wise.
I know you'd like to get it done tonight, but I'm just not comfortable yet, so.
As long as you schedule a meeting before the 29th, we just need it done
I wouldn't do that.
before the 16th.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah,
I
because
know
that
how
would be 2
difficult that
weeks
is.
after the salary ordinance ends, so.
What date did you say?
Well, it needs to be done before the 16th
Be
because
in
the
the year.
old salary
Correct.
ordinance expires on the 16th.
Okay.
We should plan one midweek in about a week or two,
Yeah.
weeks.
Do you want to go over the changes from what you reviewed?
Not right now, not here.
Yeah, I think I'd rather digest it a
Okay.
little myself.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to consider ordinance 1787 on first reading.
Be either the 7th or the 14th.
Yeah,
All right.
I want to check my calendar before.
I'll consider ordinance number 1787 on first reading.
Thank you, Mike, for support for that.
Second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. So we will schedule within the next day or two, Joe, get the meeting scheduled for the second reading of that. Item C1, motion to approve consulting services. Joe?
Yes, this is before you tonight, recommendation by staff. This study will be 101st Avenue from State Line to Calumet Avenue, Calumet Avenue to 109th Avenue, and 109th and 231 from Calumet Avenue to Klein Avenue. So this study will be exploring the existing land uses, future land uses, and will determine the look for this corridor. This is included in the building planning's budget for 2022, so this project is funded, and we're looking to get these funds encumbered for that project.
Okay. Questions or comments? Then I will entertain a motion to approve the agreement. I'm sorry, is this an agreement or a proposal?
It's a proposal.
To approve the proposal from Tesca and Associates to do the corridor plan. Do I have a motion for that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Tesca and Associates to provide consulting services for a corridor plan in the amount of $90,000.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. Item 2, motion to declare surplus property. Joe?
So we have a dump truck, and it's a recommendation of Director Davis that we sell this old vehicle off.
Okay. Questions or comments? Then I will entertain a motion to declare this property surplus and authorize the sale.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. There's support for that.
Second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. Item 3, motion to approve the agreement between National Flag Football and the Town of St. John. Joe?
So we have an agreement with National Flag Football that we've worked for the last several years. They play at Lake Central, and we advertise this Parks and Recs program. I guess we earn some kind of a nominal fee for that as well. We also do include their flyers that they print at their expense in the water bills twice a year, I think it is.
Okay. Questions or comments? So I'm looking for a motion to approve the agreement between National Flag Football, Inc. and the Town of St. John and authorize the Town Council President to sign.
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. Support for
Second.
that. Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Is approved 5-0. Item number 4, motion to approve Gruen settlement. Mr. Westland.
So, excuse me, you'll remember about a month ago, we were contacted by an attorney that brought to light in 2019, prior to you folks taking office, the town approached Mr. and Mrs. Groen about acquiring 20,559 square feet of property for the widening and expansion of Parish Avenue. Somewhere along the line, that negotiation broke down, but the town went forward with its project and expanded Parish Avenue and took approximately 21,000 square feet from them. So we occupy it currently. I don't know why it took over 2 years for, the landowner to say something, but it's not something that any of us were aware of in 2020 or 2021 or even through most of 2022. There were appraisals done back in 2019. Obviously, they couldn't get it resolved then, and at this point, we've negotiated with the landowner's attorney, and they're willing to accept the sum of $53,000 for the property that we have now occupied for the better part of 2.5 years. If we don't accept the resolution of this, what happens is you wind up in court with appraisers appointed, which we have to pay for, by the way, which are not inexpensive, and you'll probably run through the difference in where they were negotiating in 2019 and where the Groens are at today fairly quickly. So my advice to you is to accept the proposed resolution from the Groens and authorize me to execute whatever documents are necessary to kind of put this matter to bed.
Any questions?
No, our road's sitting on top of their land.
I mean,
All right.
Already.
So do we have a motion then to approve the settlement with Gruens and authorize Mr. Westland to execute the documents necessary for the settlement?
So moved.
You want the amount in there
yeah.
of $53,000? Right?
So moved.
Thank you. Support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike.
I have a question.
Yes.
With respect to that, are we going to make sure that we get a proper plat for the right-of-way that was supposed to have been granted
Well,
as part of the settlement?
they're not, part of their proposal was not that they're going to give us, like, we can certainly have our engineers for the town go out and look at it. They're going to give us a deed.
That's
Right.
what I'm saying, is we need to make
Yeah,
sure.
we're
that
going to get a deed
You get
in
that.
exchange for
Yeah.
the check.
Okay.
Right? And so as soon as we get the release and settlement put together, and the release will say, you're going to give us a check, you're going to give us a check, or we're going to give them a check, and they're going to give us a deed.
Right. And I believe this may have already been platted out. I'll pull the information on that.
I
But I
think-
don't think it was ever finalized.
So you should have, right, as part of any road project, you have engineering drawings. And I'm sure the engineering drawings were sent as part of the original offer back in the fall of 2019 to them. So I'm sure they're in the town somewhere.
Right.
Okay. You all right then?
He's very optimistic.
All
I
right.
like that.
All right, then, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 5-0. Item number 9, reports and correspondence. Beth?
I'd just like to start by wishing everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I hope everyone enjoys time spent with your families and loved ones. I would also like to cordially invite everyone to attend the 18th annual opening night of Christmas in the Park, to be held this Friday, November 25th. Fireworks begin promptly at 7 p.m. with overflow parking at St. John the Evangelist Church, which we are very thankful that they allow us to use their parking lot for this event. I would like to extend a thank you to Welch's Stop and Shop for their donation of grilled hot dogs, and Ernie's Steakhouse for their donation of hot chocolate for opening night. Ernie's actually decided to donate hot chocolate for each night of the event, so we are very thankful for that. I'd like to give a big thank you to the clerk treasurer staff for their assistance in planning and coordinating this event, much of which was volunteer, and the Public Works Department, who assisted in the setup at the park. It's a huge undertaking as this event continues to grow each year. Thank you to our police and fire for coming out on opening night to deliver Santa and direct traffic. Fire delivers Santa each night, and so we're very thankful for that. We appreciate you. Thank you to Councilman Pondinas. He's our resident popcorn maker. He pops thousands of bags of popcorn for our community. So that.
Yeah, Jiffy Pop, okay.
So we thank you. Our combined partnership in getting this event ready for our community to enjoy is paramount. I would like to thank our tree sponsors who have been working daily on decorating their trees. Many braved the bitterly cold weather this past weekend, and we appreciate you. So far, we have raised $21,000 in donations, which is fantastic, and I believe it will come in handy because it seems as though our pavilion's tent, its days are just about numbered and will need to be replaced soon. Which I'm sure is going to be costly. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our bronze, silver, gold, and platinum sponsors. Without their participation, potentially that new tent wouldn't be possible. Our platinum sponsors were Tucker Homes and Centier Bank. Our gold sponsors, Strachan Van Til, Franciscan Healthcare, and Culver's. Our silver sponsors were Gates of St. John, NIPSCO, and Diamond Peak Homes. Bronze sponsors were People's Bank, Lithographic, Republic Services, Robinson Engineering, Mighty Mike's, Blackburn Builders, D. Young Interiors, Providence Bank and Trust, Altoff Homes, and TNG Development. I would like to give a special thank you to McFarland Homes and Ileana Construction, who were just shy of making the bronze sponsorship, but their donations are equally as appreciated.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Joe?
So I'm very pleased that our CCMG and West 85th projects came in significantly under the bid cost. This savings will allow the town to get a jump start on our next road projects, including 93rd Avenue. Acorn Drive, Robinson Engineering is finalizing design and was out on site today with GeoCon doing soil borings in the roadway so that the construction of the new water main will be underway this summer. Met with Councilman Pondinas and Robinson and our staff to discuss and prioritize our water projects that are moving forward. These include, obviously, wells number 8 and 9, our water treatment, replacement of water main on US 41, and several other projects. We will continue to have those meetings so that way we keep a momentum on those projects and we keep those as a priority. Public Works staff has been very busy, as Beth has stated, working on getting the Christmas in the Park set up. Driving around town, Public Works crews have been doing a really good job at getting the leaves picked up, so I want to thank them for taking care of that. I know they work hard and they've put in a lot of hours getting that addressed. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish the council, clerk treasurer, Dave, and our staff and residents, St. John, and your families a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
I do have a question for you. Joe?
Yes, sir.
If you could, is there an update on the Stormwater Board and their recommendation to
So with
get some of
respect
those
to,
projects done?
I don't know if Brian was going to talk about that or
that
not.
time
So
frame?
if you mind, okay.
ahead.
I don't want to steal your thunder, but
No, God.
so with respect to that, so the Stormwater Board held a public hearing with respect to the rates. I believe there were 8 or 9 residents that had spoken up at the meeting about the rates for the stormwater. Obviously, I think they're looking at doing some more community engagement with respect to that, but in terms of timing, obviously there's plenty of time because whatever is decided with respect to the stormwater won't go into effect until 2024. So there's a little time in order to get communications and discussions with the residents and I know we kind of touched on a little bit of, you know, different ways in which that can be done. But that was a discussion that was had at that level.
I just want to get an update on that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Town council, Wayne.
Yeah, the SCADA system for the sanitary side is just about done. I think they were working on the last lift station today, and hopefully they finish today or they'll finish tomorrow. By the end of the year, all the kinks should be out of it, and it should be fully operational so they can monitor everything. We, as a council, ordered the altitude valve for Kilkenny, and that should be here the end of the year, maybe January. They got to pour a slab inside the tank, Kilkenny tank, to put that, and then they're going to build a house around it or a shed to keep it warm because it gets cold. There's no heat in there. Where the Gates Tower has a heater in it, and then we also ordered a altitude valve for the Hack Street Tower. That'll go underground by Public Works. And I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels if you're traveling. And everybody enjoy themselves and be thankful for what they have.
Thank you, Wayne. Mike.
I wasn't at the meeting last night for the safety board, but I think the fire department did bring up they want to have the council to continue looking into expanding the fire territory, and they're also looking at getting a safer grant. And then I think the police and fire authorized the hiring of their additional people off their current lists.
Okay.
And was there anything else at the meeting? I don't think anything else, Joe?
I know they did the authorization. They did the authorization for the promotions and
Oh,
the
yeah.
hiring, so yeah.
They did promote battalion chief,
Oh, yeah? Who got promoted?
Bruce Filkowski.
He's
All right.
sitting, yeah.
Congratulations.
He's sitting in the
I
back
wish everybody up
row.
here a happy Thanksgiving, and that's it.
Brian.
I'd like to publicly thank Sherrville, the town of Sherrville, for their support. Even though St. John spearheaded the 85th Street project, Sherrville didn't have to go above and beyond, and they did, donating to the project, even though we saved money. And also to thank the Lake County Council for approving the money being spent as well, even though Lake County has a little bit of the road, but nonetheless, they've contributed and been quite cooperative in this whole project. And the nice thing is it came in probably 25% under budget, which is outstanding in today's market. Other than that, hope everybody and their families and friends have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Brian. Mike.
For the Parks Department, just want to make sure all the residents know that we are opening a ice rink at Civic Park. The parts are all in for it, so it should be up and operational within a week or so. So I hope people can come out and enjoy that. So that's in Civic Park, starting shortly. So we welcome a little cold weather for that. Also, we had a nice conversation today in the committee at Lantern View Park. We're going to strongly consider putting in not only upgrading that park, but putting in a half-mile walking path for residents to enjoy. Also want to thank the council today for unsealing the bids for the survey for the community center for doing community engagement. And getting a better handle on that project. I want to thank you for going through that process. So other than that, I want to thank all the families in the council and residents and wish them all a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. The only update I have was with NERC. NERC's accepting bids or requests for the 2027 money. So,
I'm
Oh, joy.
go ahead.
So, with respect to that, we did submit 2 grant applications on that. And Jerry, I do apologize. I did have that on here, but somehow,
Didn't read it.
somehow it didn't get read.
Curbsy is my responsibility, so that
Yeah,
I
so
appreciate you covering here.
we did apply, we had 2 separate grant applications submitted for that. I think it's like approximately about 20 million in grant applications, so, we're looking forward to getting awarded something on that. Obviously, the one project, scored very high, so we're definitely looking to get something for that. One is obviously for the Klein Avenue project.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That'll be
And-
phase 2.
Yes, and construction.
And like the other council members and everybody else on the dais here, first of all, I'd like to thank the councilman. It's been an interesting year. It's been a challenging year. We've had our issues. We've worked through a lot of stuff. I think we've accomplished a lot for this town. And hopefully we can continue working on that going forward. And to those that are watching, those that are here, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I have a lot to be thankful for, but we also have to remember that in our thankfulness, we also need to be able to support those that are suffering, those that are less fortunate and suffering some losses. So we need to make sure we encourage them as well. So with that, I am completed. So I have a motion to adjourn.
So